Well, as you can see, there is no ampersand in the file name.
Yeah.
Yes.
As has been previously established, you have capital letters,
Yes.
you have numerals, and you have an underscore.
You have 10 numerals, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. And an underscore. Yeah. And no ampersand.
No. But I guess that's really a point for later in the podcast.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Which means we should get on with it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Seems
okay.
like a good call.
Let's do it.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin, and with me, as always, is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
I don't want to.
Really?
Sorry. So, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Yesterday, I went out and I returned Fast X to the library.
Uh-huh.
And I went for a lovely walk along the Battery Point Sculpture Trail, which was a more pleasant experience than the first time I did it, which was on and off raining, not experiencing any parliamentary proceedings. This was the day after the government had collapsed last year, when they had to pass an emergency supply bill. And the House of Assembly wrapped up fairly quickly, passed it along. And then the Legislative Assembly discovered that there were errors. There were errors, and so they went off and they figured out those errors for some hours, and then came back and returned the bill to the House of Assembly with some requests.
Right.
All this happening while I was outside on a fairly wet day with new headphones, and I decided, you know what, I'll experience this sculpture trail. The trail being several numbers,
Right.
several very large numbers rendered in various ways,
Right.
winding through Battery Point.
Huh.
Yeah,
I haven't done it.
no,
Maybe I should.
yeah.
But let us stress that yesterday, all of that political stuff.
Yeah, yesterday
happen.
none of that was happening,
No.
and it was a lovely day.
So you should have gone for a walk today then,
Yeah,
where you
that's-
could have got the rain. You could have had a change in national leadership, maybe.
Yeah, the rain was definitely worse today than it was
It
on that
certainly
day
was.
a year ago.
Yes, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week I've been watching a bit of Paralympics, not a whole lot of Paralympics.
Oh, there's
Turns
some
out-
Paralympics on,
Yeah,
is there?
yeah, it turns out there's not a whole lot of winter Paralympic sports anyway.
Right.
And unlike the Olympics, all of the live streams are just freely available on 9 Now, instead of being locked behind Stan.
What does that say?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Is it a lack of trust in the product? Is it, oh well, nobody much watches this anyway, so we might as well just stick it somewhere they can see it?
It is a whole heap of things. I mean, certainly Paralympians in Australia, at least, have to do a lot of their own fundraising and
Yeah.
what have you. Anyway.
So yeah, I've been enjoying what bits of it I have actually seen in between consuming other media.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, can we flip back around to the art...
The sculpture trail.
Sculpture trail.
Yeah.
Is there actually a website that, or a map or something that...
I don't know if there is a map. I know that it...
Well, so you wandered the entire...
No.
Every single street of Battery Point?
No.
Right.
No. Each of these sculptures is accompanied by an amount of text describing what the number is about.
Uh-huh.
and also telling you where you need to go next. Some of the instructions are less useful than they could be. I recall that one of the signs tells you to continue down the path towards the bottom right of this particular park, when the path does not actually take you to the bottom right of the park, it takes you to the bottom left of the park.
Right.
And so you have to cross the grass to the bottom right of the park.
What determines what's right?
Well,
and what's left?
From where you're entering the park,
Right.
if you're following the instructions up to that point.
Strange.
But yeah, no, it's a lovely walk.
And where does it start?
It starts up the end of Salamanca Place.
Right.
Yeah. With sort of a cage with rocks in it. I can't remember exactly what.
Huh.
But anyway, on the back of a very large number at the end of Salamanca Place,
Right.
there are instructions that tell you which way to go.
Okay. I might do that the next time I have my head examined.
Yeah. About an hour's walk.
Uh-huh.
Ends with a very steep hill
Right.
towards a sign that will tell you about Errol Flynn.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Your grandmother went to the same school as Errol Flynn,
Yeah.
but not the same year.
No.
No. Your grandmother is old, but not that old.
I think that sign was for the number 1907,
Yes.
which
Yes.
bit far. What have you been up to?
What have
this
I been
week?
up to? I had to think about it. And so I flipped my mind to yesterday, and I think that's when you you sent some spy cam footage
Yeah.
of
yeah.
me. And so I sent some spy cam footage of you back. I'd actually just raced down to the bus mall from an ultrasound scan.
Right.
So yes, I got to see my kidneys, my bladder, and my prostate in vivid black and
Yeah.
white. Oh, and there was a bit of colour there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you, and then it took me long enough to get out my phone and take the photo and send the text message that by the time you'd actually looked at the contents of the text message, you were on the bus.
I was on
your
the
way.
bus. That's right. Yes. And that same day, I'd done a plasma donation. So, yes, this ultrasound, I was required to drink a large amount of water and then not relieve myself.
Yeah.
So I was, in the words of Kitty in Man Without a Face, I needed to pee so bad I could whiz out my ear.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's fun and games. The joys of getting old.
Got to have a medium for the ultrasound to pass through.
Well, no, this wasn't. This was allowing them to measure the size of my bladder and
Right. Yeah.
all sorts of crazy things. Probably too much information there.
Oh well.
Anyway, and today, yes, I was wandering around in the rain too. I had to go into town twice. One to drop off a CPAP machine, and two to go back and get it. So.
This I'm told after last week going out to do it, but it not being
Finding
the
out
time.
it being the wrong day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the right day this day.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. It gets serviced each year, and you get nervous to see whether you get a good score or a bad score for maintaining your machine and your mask, and whether your actual CPAP score is keeping you alive or not. And apparently it is.
Well,
yeah, my CPAP score is sufficient to ensure that I'm breathing at night.
Well, one would hope so, given that over the past year you have not died.
Well, that's right. Yes. Yeah, so here's to another year. Hey. Or something. Other than that... Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday, I did a bit of a time-warpy loop with a friend of mine and delved back briefly into the world of geocaching.
Yeah.
Tasmania had its first mega event, and we ducked in and signed our name on a logbook and realised how things had changed and how things had stayed the same, and recognised that, we remember getting completely immersed in that world, and maybe we don't want to get entirely immersed in it again, type of thing. And there's certain bells and whistles that they've added to various things since we were last particularly involved, and yeah. To the extent that my friend did actually install a new app to get halfway through certain things that were at this event, and then said, no, I don't want to do this. Yeah. But no, it was good to catch up with a couple of people who I would consider friends in that community. That was good.
No longer a minor celebrity.
No, that was the good thing too. Mind you, I did have someone come up to me and say, hey, look, I want to rejig one of your major caches and bring it back from the dead. And I said, let me think about it. And my thinking, even at that stage, was no, what's dead is dead type of thing.
I hadn't realised there was a convention centre in Sorel.
No, well, it's not really so much as a convention centre as a very large sports hall with very, very confusing multi-sports lines all over. I don't know how anyone can play. It did my head in trying to work out, okay, that's badminton, that's basketball, that's netball, that's volleyball, that's... No.
So it's sort of like the place across the highway from Rose Bay.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, one large space like that, and then a corridor to the right of that with various meeting rooms. Yeah. So, no, it's good. Yeahnah. This podcast will be entirely composed of Yeahnahs. Anyway, we have a film to watch.
We do.
Yes. What are we watching this week?
We are watching, as he swiftly attempts to pull up a slightly more useful back of the box than the actual back of the box.
Indiana Jones and James Bond meet E.T. with guns.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Yep, I've seen it twice, and I was saying to Thomas earlier, I really can't remember a lot about it. There's certain little bits that sort of spring up that may even be mixed up with other memories. In fact, was there a Doctor Who episode that was set on Western...
Truth or Consequences?
It was the one where the township had a line around it, and there was electricity lights being powered by an alien ship. I think that was a Doctor Who. Was it a Doctor Who episode?
Yeah, I do recall that.
Maybe the Doctor played a sheriff. I don't know. I don't know. Or there already was a sheriff, and once you crossed the line.
No, different episode. True. Not called Truth or Consequences. That was part of the plot of that Zygon two-parter. A town called Mercy.
Right.
There we go.
Can you read the plot synopsis of that, just to confuse our dear listener?
The Doctor gets a Stetson and a gun, and finds himself the reluctant sheriff of a western town under siege by a relentless cyborg, who goes by the name of the Gunslinger.
Okay. I wasn't imagining it then. But I seem to recall when watching that, I had real Cowboys and Aliens vibes happening. So we'll see whether that happens again when we watch Cowboys and Aliens. The plot synopsis of which is...
Jake, an amnesiac, enters the town of Absolution, which is ruled by the ruthless cattle baron, Colonel Dollarhide. When attacked by alien invaders, Jake becomes the town's only hope for survival.
Right. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Based on a comic that became a graphic novel, that became a film, that became a novel, that became an audiobook.
That became a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Good.
It's based on the graphic novel. The film is what we're watching.
Yes.
The audiobook is all that's available from the Tasmanian library system.
Hey, I must admit, I visited that website looking for a particular film today.
Yeah.
They didn't have, so we aren't watching that next week.
No, I suppose not.
Whatever it may be.
Wasn't even available to rent anywhere. No. Oh dear.
What was it? Maybe it was. I can't even remember what it was. Anyway,
Great.
we're stalling.
Cowboys and Aliens, that's what we're watching.
We are watching Cowboys and Aliens. We're watching it on...
Sorry.
Oh, no,
My apologies.
I'm going to have to edit that out. On some archaic piece of media. We have it on DVD.
Yeah.
We're watching the non-extended version. We're watching the theatrical edition.
Saving a whole 20 minutes.
Thomas is going to take it out of its case off screen and off podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even those of you watching at home will not be able to see Thomas open the case.
Yeah.
He's going to put the disc into the machine. We're going to watch it and come back, and we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B. B is the one with all the aliens in it.
Ah.
So I guess this is the Cowboys side.
Be like a beehive. I think there's an alien hive, isn't there?
Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a mongrel dog. I'm sure there's a mongrel dog in this. Roll the tape. So what did you think?
I'm a little disappointed, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a vaguely novel combination.
Yeah.
I don't know that the film is anything particularly special, though.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare times where I would love to check out the source material.
Yeah.
And see whether they were stuck in a bind of trying to stay faithful to the source material and therefore any limitations of that. Because it did feel constrained in places.
Yep.
And directions that it took felt like they had been predetermined. It just felt to me like it was sticking to something that possibly the director may not have necessarily, if he was given complete free rein and felt safe to do so, would have. And I'd completely forgotten that it was Jon Favreau that was directing it. It just felt to me, and I could be entirely wrong, he may have, and the writers may well have departed far from the original comics. Or this was based on the graphic novel that was based on the comics.
I think the graphic novel was just a compilation, of the comics. Yeah.
My experience is extremely limited with comics. But that experience that I've had, which could be wildly inaccurate, has always struck me as being very episodic.
Yep.
And the end goal hasn't necessarily been determined when the first drawing is drawn, and so directions that story goes isn't necessarily like some novelists who have absolutely the chapter outlines ready to go before they start writing. My limited experience with comics has felt like from episode to episode, from comic to comic, the destination hasn't yet been determined. And if this was written to be faithful to that maybe that's what I was feeling through this.
This film has 8 production companies listed on Wikipedia. And a 9th distributor.
Right. Okay. I don't have a great grasp of how much influence and control each of those production companies had, but if they do, that's one mighty tug of war, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's hard. I really wanted to love this a lot more, and there were aspects of it that I did, but there were some choices that just felt wrong. Colour grading from very realistic to what on earth is that? What is going on there? And there were times where, it was a memory, and so they were using that to reflect memories. But there are other times where it wasn't necessarily doing that. But I think my biggest bugbear was at the end, where I didn't feel grounded in the location.
Mm-hmm.
They're in this canyon. There's this stonking great spaceship taking up most of the end of that canyon.
Yeah.
But lots of shots there that didn't feel like the spaceship was anywhere near.
Mm-hmm.
Or obviously present, because it was a... and that is the thing, as far as keeping that in shot, if there is no physical part of it, but it felt like it was shot in multiple different places.
Yeah.
And it probably was, but you shouldn't feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jake and the Colonel are escaping from underneath it, and they end up ages away from it.
Yeah. And when they release all the people, that was from well under.
Yeah.
And then they appear from up above, and in my sense of place, didn't feel right.
Yeah.
The kids up on the hill with the telescope, with the full view of everything going on, and focusing on a particular shot, and then you get a close-up of that shot, but you suddenly don't feel that looming presence of the spaceship there, because it's not visible, and it possibly should have been. And Did you recognise the kid?
No.
You
asking that makes me feel like I should.
Oh, well, no, not necessarily.
Kid.
He also played Aang in the M. Night Shyamalan.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I don't know whether it was his... There were certain facial features that sort of sprung up at me, and I thought, hang on. And it was him. The other face that jumped out at me was last Friday. We watched Tomb Raider, the 2018.
Yep.
And the bad guy in that also played a bad guy in this. And I again had that moment of, hang on, I know that guy. And from what I can tell, that's what he plays. He plays a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's got that face. Mongrel. There was a mongrel.
There was indeed a dog, yes.
A dog with a cat's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. that dog should have been dead a number of times, but no, kept on doggedly dogging on.
Yep.
It is a great concept, and parts of it just worked really well, but other parts just didn't.
So the last time I would have watched it would have been back in 2017 when it was a Friday night movie.
Uh-huh. What did you give it?
I gave it, quote, a reasonable film, but not a whole lot else to say, so I won't.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, around that time that pretty much summed up. Mind you, in this podcast sometimes that's pretty much your summing up.
Yeah.
And I think that still applies.
Yeah.
The vibe that I'm getting.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It was there.
I love the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to check who was doing the soundtrack. And I don't know whether I've missed something entirely, but the name was completely unfamiliar to me. And yet he has done heaps of very, very big films. Have you heard of Harry Gregson Williams?
The name vaguely rings a bell, but that might just be because I've seen it on this Wikipedia page.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. That's a few films.
Yeah, look, I'm
Oh, Shrek. All of Shrek? Cool.
Gladiator 2, The Martian.
Spy Kids, although there's a few names attached to compose that.
Yeah, but I really, really loved the soundtrack. It had a very solid Western back to it, but also, I don't know, there was, I guess, a sci-fi slant to it. More so than like Firefly. I mean, Firefly is a sci-fi Western, but the soundtrack to that is pretty much solid Western stereotype. music. But yeah, it was a good soundtrack.
Spy Kids has 7 composers attached, including the director Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. He likes to.
He does like to do all the things.
Yeah.
If he can help it.
Yep. I would still recommend it, as in, if you've got, if it, for dear listener Helen, who occasionally has something on in the background on free to air, if this pops up, yeah, watch it or not.
It made its budget and a little more than that, and that was it.
Yeah. I don't know what potential it had for sequels anyway, on so many different levels. All right. Do you have anything else to say about it?
Nope.
No more gems of wisdom from the wiki? All right. Well, we might move on then.
The following segment has no title. Thank you.
Okay. We have, to start us off, a number of backlog comments on Discord from Entuosferatu.
Hi, Entuosferatu. You must have been really bored. That's quite some catching up.
Yeah. Starting with Misery.
Uh-huh.
I'm finally catching up.
Hooray!
Our family gift tradition is, just before opening, to loudly proclaim, "It's a football!" with bonus points for how improbable the shape of the wrapped present is.
Now, I had to go back and check why we were talking about gift traditions, and it was, the whole computer on Christmas Day.
I read too much into a rectangular prism.
Yes. It's interesting that you go for football. When I was growing up, and it still continues to be, mine has been, it's golf clubs.
Yeah.
With the associated, there is absolutely no way that box or that package is golf clubs.
It's round and sort of a cylinder, sort of a squat cylinder. Definitely golf clubs.
Definitely golf clubs. Yep. So I can relate.
Yeah. I have not seen Misery, continues, but I know of it due to cultural osmosis. Perhaps I should? Or just read the Wikipedia plot summary, as I do with many horror-ish movies.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Then on F9.
F9.
Excited to hear what you think of F9 Nights at Fneddy's. It does sound ridiculous. I'm slightly surprised that there's supposed to be a second part to the X finale. I wonder if it will make any money, though.
I'm still wondering whether it'll happen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're stalling. That they're building up that, hurrah, finally they've done it. And they'll, all of the people who had abandoned it are racing to watch it, and it'll make back its money and more. Nah.
Then, on the Phoenician scheme, re-fire smog, I am reminded of a classic rhyme. Red sky in morning, podcasters take warning. Red sky at night, oh god, it's all ablaze, send help!
Oh dear.
Not looking forward to our summer after this record low snowpack winter. It's going to be so dry.
There's nothing worse than having a dryish winter.
I have not seen Shaolin Soccer, but I quite enjoy Kung Fu Hustle, so I should at least give it a try. Is that one you've seen? I don't know if more slapstick would appeal to you more without the sports theme.
Right. Kung Fu Hustle. We'll add it to the list.
Yeah. On Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, are all Jack Ryan films kinda the same film? I like Red October, but the Harrison Ford ones seem to blur together. I haven't seen any of the more recent ones. Thought, is this a better example than recent Bonds as a series with the same character, but not too hung up on continuity? I think that the trouble there is really more that they can't hang on to an actor for more than 1 or 2 films.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep continuity when there isn't any.
No.
Colin's activities, the concept of an ocean that wouldn't kill you via hypothermia within 15 minutes is such a foreign concept.
Okay, I'm curious, Entuosferatu, exactly how far north and on which coast you're on, because you've mentioned snowpacks and hypothermia in, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Although, snow is a rarity down, even as far down south as we are. We get it on the tops of the mountains, but certainly not down to sea level.
Hey, sometimes if you're lucky and you're on the mountain, you'll get a white Christmas.
That's right. That's right. And certainly during winter, you would get hypothermia within 15 minutes. So, yeah, who knows? I am curious, though, Entuosferatu, even if you want to, I don't know, can you send private messages on Discord?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, there we go. I had visions of you earlier feeding moose in Alaska. So, who knows?
And then, between us recording and releasing our episode on Secondhand Lions, on Fast X, I have seen almost all of these speedy angry people movies, but wow, I can't remember any of the characters or what they are doing. So them bringing characters back is only sure to make me more confused. Maybe I do need the rehashing and review when they introduce them. Only I don't think I need to see this.
No.
My file name guess is XX_FastX_XX, because Colin was secretly super into Counter-Strike in 1999, and this was his handle.
Oh, you know me so well. Yes.
Well,
I'm impressed with the lowercase x, uppercase x.
Yeah. You have there remembered the rule about including underscores, which would have helped you more than those who commented on Fast X previously, but you have included too many characters.
Yes.
And lowercase characters.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, incorrect still.
Yep. Sorry.
I'm willing to take that as an official guess, given that it came out before the episode in which we revealed the correct answer, but it is somewhat moot.
It is somewhat moose.
Yeah.
So he is in Canada.
Sure.
I mean, not Canada. We could
Alaska.
Be in Canada.
You've been assuming Alaska this whole
yes,
time.
Alaska. Maybe he's Canadian. Dunno. Anyway.
And then, on Secondhand Lions, the film that we watched last week, to help with your review, here is a first and second-hand lion. And he's included 2 photos of lion hand puppets.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I want one now.
I don't expect this to translate into Australia, but my wife worked for a PBS station for a few years, and then we had both our kids and our neighbours' kids during the mornings when they were young, before taking the whole gaggle out to a bus. So we often had the PBS kids shows on. So the moment you talked about a cliffhanger, my brain immediately went, cliffhanger, hanging from a cliff, and that's why they call him Cliffhanger. Appropriately for this week, that was a segment on the show Between the Lions. I have seen...
I'm curious to know, is that actually to music?
I believe that is to music.
That's why they call him Cliffhanger. Right.
I have seen a couple of clips of this over time. I seem to recall that the theme tune is sung by a choir on a helicopter going past Cliffhanger. And he tries to get their attention and possibly their help.
Right.
To no avail.
Right. Trying to get their attention, even though this choir is well and truly aware of the fact that he's hanging from a cliff. Good.
And, every segment he would get himself off of hanging off the cliff and then almost immediately find himself hanging from the cliff again.
Right. So he wouldn't have survived well in the final act of Cowboys and Aliens, because there were cliffs everywhere.
There were cliffs everywhere. Yeah. No one was really hanging from the cliffs. There was some climbing up of the spaceship.
Yes, there was spaceship hanging.
But everyone seemed to have that pretty well in hand.
They did, didn't they? All right.
Which, with a guess from E of Pie,
Hi, E of Pie.
will take us up to the guesses.
It will.
Nosferatu has gone with Secundlns. That's SCHNDLNS. And E of Pie has gone for Secundln. That's SCNDHDLN. Unfortunately, neither of you have heeded my advice to remember
That very clear
all of the rules.
advice that you gave.
We dealt with underscores a week ago.
Yeah.
This week we are dealing with numerals.
Ooh.
Because a numeral was included in the file name.
The number 7, just randomly. Yeah.
You were looking for second, that's 2ND, Hundlun, HNDLN.
Yeah. I ran out of letters too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted an S on the end of that.
Yep.
And I thought, as I was putting it in, the only way I'm going to be able to get that is by using a 2. But I still got to the end and found myself short. So.
And you found yourself in a tricky situation this week also.
Did.
You sort of jumped into the first half and then realised you were running out of space for the rest of it.
Like I say, there isn't any pre-planning that goes in. It's a case of start with a letter and keep going until you've run out of letters.
Yeah, very nearly.
Spaces or...
Very nearly what I would have gone with. Off by a letter, but... Yeah. If you have any file name guesses, keeping all of that in mind, or film suggestions or comments on our comments or the film that we've watched this week, do let us know.
Yes. Please.
Yeah. We are open to relevant comments.
Yep. Keep topical, people.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think we'll move on.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
And it's your turn.
It is my turn.
And that hasty moving on suggests to me that you do have something lined up.
No, I've got nothing.
Oh.
No. In fact, the suggestion has actually come from Nosferatu.
Oh, okay.
But not from the direction that you would think. Now, Nosferatu has suggested that as far as horror-ish movies are concerned, Nosferatu will read the plot summary instead on Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
So there's a certain aversion, which I normally have too, as far as horror movies are concerned. However, he also makes reference to a movie that I believe has horror elements involved.
Right.
So I'm going to go the hard yards and put myself out there and watch a film that I wasn't sure that I was going to watch, but now hold Nosferatu solely responsible for me injuring next week. Now, I believe it is a film that you have watched.
Okay.
And the sequel of it also came out fairly recently. And he referenced it in his F9.
I have not seen Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right. You have not?
I have not.
I have not either.
Great.
Thomas
immediate apprehension
has just screwed his nose up.
Not because of the horror elements, which I'm sure there will be plenty of.
Yeah. But
it's not something I would have gone for.
No. Well, see, as I say, I can blame Nosferatu for this.
Sure. Sure.
There is some certain amount of morbid curiosity that has been added upon by the fact that there are certain parties in this house that have watched it multiple times. So I at least think that it's going to be fairly safe horror and jump scare wise. If that is the case.
Ooh, I wouldn't be so sure about jump scare wise.
Oh, the first one. I believe the second one is a bit more jump scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look, we will find out. Thomas, can you bring up a brief plot synopsis of
there's
Five Nights at Freddy's? I don't know whether it's streaming anywhere. I think Daniel bought it. I could be wrong. I could be making that up. Oh, I could be setting myself up for a fall. Maybe A, we don't have a hard copy of it, and B, it isn't streaming anywhere. Oh, have I shot myself in the foot?
That's disconcerting. This search term brings up, Freddy's eyes just sort of fade in and out on the Google search page. That's not okay. Great. Cool. I could have told you this just from knowing what the game was about. A troubled security guard begins working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. While spending his first night on the job, he realises the late shift at Freddy's won't be so easy to make it through.
Oh.
There's animatronics, and
yes.
they do things.
Yes.
They do things on their own.
They do.
That they probably weren't programmed to do.
No.
And yeah, that's...
Nothing at Freddy's is what it seems, according to Just Watch, where it is indeed showing that it's streaming on Stan. So
good for us.
Yeah. That's what we're in for next week. We hope Thomas is just so keen, and there is a certain degree of trepidation on my behalf as well. What was I thinking? And to Osferatu who made me do it. We hope that you can join us. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
You mongrel. You absolute mongrel.
Hang on. Is this a film that you had set your heart and soul against ever watching?
No, not
okay.
one I'd ever intended on watching.
Right. Okay.
It's fine. We'll watch it.
But it's not Crocodile Dundee and me. I
don't have huge interest in that.
Good. Because that's my relationship with Crocodile Dundee. I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to watch that.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to really, really pick something awful for my next franchise.
Look, if we're going to play franchises, my have I got some franchises. If we're going to go that way.
Great.
Yeah.
Look, genuinely, I do intend to introduce a monthly franchise because it's easier for me not to have to think about half of the things.
It's easier for you to put me through 11 movies that just got worse and worse and worse and better and worse and yeah.
Yes, to not have to think about half of my choices.
Think hard about that.
Easy.
Anyway, I'm stopping.